like maybe 3/8 of an inch, so I'm going to go 5/8 maybe.
Okay.
It's not that crucial, but it, you know, if you're really long or you're really short, it looks. If it's too short, you won't be able to tie it.
Pinched in your hand, then, is that,
I'm sorry.
that's what you'll have pinched between.
Exactly, yeah. Actually, where I make that first tie. So I've angled it again to get these hairs out. So this to me is the same length as the tail almost. Can you guys see that? That's just eyeball. That's all it is, you know. If a guy wanted to be really super critical about it, you could probably start measuring and stuff, but you go nuts.
Oh, so when you're doing that, then the part that's over the eye is actually the part you're going to bring up.
I'm going to do it right away as soon as I get this. This is the part that's the nightmare.
Oh.
Like I said, I tied probably a dozen here. I had it down pat. Now I'm having trouble. That's what I said to Bob. I said, you know, I hate those flies, you know. Yeah, he said, but you know, it's a neat fly. While I'm fighting with this, I'm again pinching fairly hard. I don't want it to slide down on me. And I put quite a few wraps here. You're going to say, boy, does that look ugly. And it does. It really does look ugly. Now I'm going to build a dam here. Can you guys all see that, what I'm doing here now? I'm building a little dam right in front of these ties. This is very important. When you tie on the back part, now I'm building this little dam to stand those up. To stand these wings up. And that's about as good as it gets. Now, you come in here. I buy these real fine scissors. They're just beautiful scissors in my eyes. And I'll turn my little vise real quick here, and I'm kind of coming up underneath here, and I'm following this hair back. Can you guys see what I'm doing there? I'm just slipping the tip of the scissors under, and I'm following that tip back to there. And I'll rotate it over here, and if there's anything hanging out here, I'll grab that too. There we go. Then I can come in here and I can cut off all these ugly little buggers here that are causing me some grief here. Well, it doesn't really matter. When that first fish that bites this, your fly looks ugly. I don't care where you are. I have a little bit of fluff here, hanging out here. Okay. This is a Hepperle fly. It doesn't have to be pretty. Okay, now what I do here now is that I'll just recap what I did there. I tied. Are we still in the picture here, or did I move it? I think I moved it, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is all those little stray pieces of calf tail, I'm going to cover them up with the red thread right now. So they're gone. Well, maybe a young set eyes would pick it up, but now what I do with my vise, I spin it towards me. Oh, here I come. Here I come. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm looking straight on my fly, and I'm splitting these hairs right now for each wing case, so that they're even. If I'm not in a camera there, probably want to adjust the camera, because this is where I like to look at the fly straight on. You might want to adjust it. Can you guys see that, or just put me on there now? What I'm doing now is I'm grabbing 1/2 of the wing case. That's all. This is a number 12, guys. That's why I wanted to go to a number 12 to show. So what I'm doing here, if you guys want to gather around, if you can't see what I'm doing, those that can't see, I'm turning my vise just a little bit, and the reason for that is that I don't want my thread to crawl up on my wing case. Okay. I'm wrapping each base. You could go 3, but I go 4, you can go 5, whatever you so desire. The important part here now, I've gone 4 wraps. Go 1 more wrap. Reason being, if you don't, it'll fall off the fly. Can you guys see that? There's 1 wing on. For the other wing, again, wet my fingers to try to grab the stuff. I've already thrown this bobbin on the other side now. So what I'm doing now is I'm standing this up. Oh,
Broke his arm.
pulled a little too hard. Got a cripple. But if you're a drinking man, let's get this light here a little better. I'm going to take off enough of this thread so I'm not bulked up too much. Okay. Calf tail. I'm just leaving this down here right on the table now because I'm trying to get as close to the skin as I can. And then I'll just take little clips here, clean it out real quick. We talked about that already. Into the old stacker. Tilt her up. They're nice and evenly stacked. Just, where in the hell is that damn camera? There it is. Okay. Let's not get the bulk of this thread off here. Okay, now I'm just gonna speed this up. Probably the thing is here is to do it a little faster and get back to where I was there. My wife always tells me that men are not, can't do two things at once, and I'm beginning to think that. I talked about how to wrap the wing case, right? Does anybody want to see it slower? I'm using that as an excuse as I'm doing. Let's just get on with the tie. Now here's if you had Zap-A-Gap or a little bit of head cement, you could just, for the people that first start tying it, I'd let that set up a little bit. But I'm going to use the thread just to work its way into the, I can actually hold this here so it doesn't spin on me. Okay, come back here, build that little dam that we're talking about. The other thing you want to do is, I don't know if you can see the head here, I'm trying to not have it tapered down too much because when I do my wraps on my hackle, it's going to cause me grief if I don't have that kind of, so I'm building the tip up to, just at the eye, I'm building this up so it's not so much of a taper. Okay. Again, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to pick an even number of these hairs. Trick here is that the hand that I'm holding that bunch of hair with, do not pull on it. That's the mistake I made last time. I yanked on it a little bit too much. So I'll just pick up the process here. Okay, now I got those hairs on. Now what you want to do is you want to do I'm just going to get myself one wrap here. You want to do a figure eight around these little babies. Now this is going to really cinch it down. Plus what happens is, as we want pretty flies, we cover up all our white crap that's showing, and this makes the fly look a little prettier. I'll just do a couple of them there just to show you. I'll come in here and I'll start trimming off little things that are going to cause me grief later on. Okay, just a couple little loose hairs. I just want to see if that looks, can you guys, yeah, shoot this face here. I'm looking at it and it's right on the money for me. They're perfectly split. There's even number of clumps of hair on each side to give me that wing that I'm looking for, okay? Now, that is the most dreaded of all those. That's what is going to cause you the most grief. You want to really cinch it down with the thread, number one. Number two is what I was doing, I was talking and everything. You cannot pull on those wings when you're wrapping them. You can't. When I did the figure 8 on it, then that cinches it down even a little more. Now those wings are fairly safe right now, okay? And now comes the putting on the hackle. Beginner fly tire, you can buy Kate's half, saves you a lot of money. I'm just using an old hackle from 100 years ago. You know about measuring hackle, 1.5, okay. I don't know how, everyone's a little different, but what you want to do is, I'm a number 12 fly, so I'm looking for a number 12 hackle, and I want 2 of them. Another little trick for you guys, and you guys wanted some stories, and I'll tell some fishing stories. I haven't been to Paris, so I can't top you on that. Brian Weeb, I think it was Brian Weeb, and definitely was Steve, and they were fishing. They were fishing on. They're fishing for, I think they were actually on the Little Smoky, if I remember correctly. It's a long time ago. But anyways, what happened is the dry fly they were using was the standard dry fly that I'm tying right now. And I remember Steve telling me they couldn't catch nothing. So what they did, they went to a parachute pattern. And it made the difference of night and day. That's a story from a fisherman. You got to believe it. But, so what I'm going to show you is a little trick that I use right now. And what I do is, if I've got too many, like I got some of these, they're actually called they're not the full cape, they're the saddle hackle. And you buy them and you get like a number 14 or not, you get pretty well specific.
Can't buy them anymore.
What?
Yeah, they're all gone to the fashion industry.
Fashion industry, women are gluing those things to the base of the hair.
You serious?
Yeah, the prices
So Whitting and the guys are selling all their saddles to the beauty shops now.
for 4 times what we pay for.
You know, women are screwing up this world. You know that, eh? I went on an Alaskan cruise, and all these ports we come in. There's a story about a little bit of what I did, and there was some fish involved. But anyways, everywhere you go, you guys ever been on an Alaskan cruise? These little ports, it's every flippin', stores is jewelry. I swear to God. And I said, these women are just screwing this whole goddamn thing up. Your company? Oh, female? Oh, so they're screwing this all up. Male just tag along for whatever. There's nothing for us out there. Now they're taking away our saddle hackles. Jesus Christ. Going back to what I was going to show you, like right now, my number 12s are getting a little skimpy, okay? So, going back to what happened to guys fishing, what I'll do is I'll throw a 16 in with 112, okay? Because I don't think the fish really give a damn if that fly is sitting, the way it's supposed to, the traditional way of sitting on the water. I don't think they really care. So what you can do is like if I'm tying a number 12 and I'm running out of 12s, because I'll sit and I'll tie a lot of these and you give them away sometimes and everything. And so I'm like the guys were talking about, they got to get your fly because they want to buy it off you or something. I tie a lot of them and I run out. So what I'll do is I'll just take one number 12 and I'll throw 16 or 14 in there. It's a little bit shorter, but I don't think the fish really give a shit. I really don't. So, on with the tie. When you tie on dry hackle onto a dry fly, it's important the way that the barbs sit, okay? in order to do that properly, if you look at a feather, it's rolls and it's cupped, okay? And so what I want is when I wrap this hackle on, I want it cupped forward. I don't want it like a wet fly, because this is a dry fly. It sits up high in the water, okay? And so you want it sitting with, you want the barbule sitting in a cone shape, pushing towards the front edge. That's a standard dry fly, standard. Does it make a difference? I don't think it does, but we're talking tying a dry fly here. So, God, this light is, that's better. Tie that on good. You'll pay the penalty, like I just did last time. The beauty about a saddle hackle is that you could just, oh man, I've got a few of them, thank God. I mean, I can't believe that.
I saw a gold whiting saddle go on eBay for $1,500.
What kind was that?
A gold whiting.
For 50. I should show some of my shit. I wonder what I get for this.
Give it a couple of years, it'll be over.
Yeah.
This is a rare
Couple of
rufus.
years and it'll catch on in China.
This is from a rare rufus long-legged leghorn. When you guys buy that shit, I can tell you some good fishing stories. Man, isn't that incredible? I know the old, and apparently now they allow them to grow them. What do they use for the salmon flies? You know
Jumbo cup?
huh?
Jumbo cup?
Yeah, I hear you can get them again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah that's some.
They're legal.
They're legal, they're actually,
They're specifically bred for that.
Yeah, well, that's the only way they'd be legal. Yeah, like anything else, eh?
Well, not only can you get them and it's legal, but it's cheaper and higher quality than,
Really?
you know, Barry Phillips.
Oh.
Used to work with Denny.
Oh, with Reg Denny.
Yeah.
Well, I probably seen him. Yeah.
Anyway, he's still a commercial tire, and he's shown me a few tapes like he's never seen before for $80.
Wow.
Came in, he's like, look at these. Have you ever seen one like this? Like perfect.
Yeah, well, you know, back in the dirty old days, like this is a number 3, but I got one. I think a grizzly. I got a number 1.
Yeah.
It was like, but yeah, this is the half a cape, and I don't know if the price tag is still on it, but yeah, it's just ridiculously priced. So if you get a good cape, grad sale or find one, some old geezer dies and huh?
If I can get a good one, someone will do that.
No, keep
I'm
it.
joking.
No, you keep it. Guard it with your life. Okay, wrapping. Here's an example of poor quality hackle, dry hackle. This is this is my half cape I bought. You know, I still use this one because I find it really doesn't make a difference. You got to be. Oh, I gotta. Now here's the thing that pisses every fly tire off. I can. The most dreaded of all evil, stray thread, eh? Okay. For you young guys, you treat this like you're playing with your girlfriend's tit. I'm telling you right now. Gentle. Very, very gentle. And what you want to do is you want to get equal ties. So by using my first hackle, I'll try to get at least 3. If I had a really good, I don't have a brown saddle, a real good saddle hackle, or I would have brought just one saddle hackle. Because one saddle hackle, you can tie like 8 flies. And just go forever with it. It's just incredible. With poor hackle, the barbs, not the barbs, but the quill, which is the center part where the barbs hang on to, they, so I'm just going to go 2 here, and then I'm going to do the rest of my wraps up front here. And now I want to really be gentle, because God, if I lose it now, I'm just going to, well, I'll lose it, eh? The last one I'll put 3 on, just to be on the safe side, because at this point now you can start putting head cement on. Now the old thread that I'm using is it's called a uni thread, and the new threads now, they waxed on these different manufacturers. They're still waxed. Eh? A guy by the name of Danny Cottrell told me this like 30 years ago when I first met the little bugger, that you never have to head cement your whip finish. The wax, when it's cinched down, it's enough to hold it. And I really believe in it. You know, some of you guys who know me, I fish a lot, and I've never had one unwind on me. Except for the bigger pike flies, the bastards have, saw double whip them and stuff like that. This little tool here, right here, I think you can still buy them. I find this, if you really, oh Jesus, look at that goddamn thing. That probably really looks ugly on the big screen, eh? Okay, this just slips in around here, and it pulls back all the hackle to do a nice finish. For those of you guys that are just tying, and if you're comfortable, I usually just wet my hand, pull it back, and do that. I bought those things 100 years ago. I will say I use them on 18s. I will use it, I'll put it on there, because it's just too small. This here slipped on me right here. I apologize, I'm going to blame it on the light. I just cannot see what the hell I'm doing here. That drives me nuts, so I'm just going to retie another hackle on, guys, because I will fish this fly. This is how you can just keep on building and fixing screw-ups and stuff like that.
Very horsepower.
Yeah. Probably need the time anyways, eh? Ken? Go back here and I'll just tie another one of these little babies on here.
No, give me a number, if I come across anything, I'll give you a call.
I'm just going to work my thread through the hackle that I have left. Okay, somewhere along the line I didn't tie that tight enough. Jesus. This is poor quality hackle by then. That's what happens on poor quality hackles. That it's very it's brittle, you know, and it causes a lot of headaches sometimes. Speed up the process. We're doing for time. What I'm going to do here is I'll show you a good one. Here, Ken, I'll get you to just, that's a 12. So what I'm going to do with this, I'll just finish this off. I'll still fish this, guys, by the way. This is just not, the fish don't care if it's pretty. You ever notice sometimes you get more hits on your strike indicator than your when you're fishing than you do with your other flies. They just don't care. Remember I told you about cutting it off at the head? Back on again. And whip finishing, I'm not gonna get into whip finishing and what, you jerky little bastard.
Pretty nice trick.
Goddamn rights. I just think Grand Finale. Give him a couple extra. Look at that, dirty. I'm really getting pissed off here now. Anyways.
You're better than any goalie they got.
Anyways. And because it's got a garbage shader, I'll double whip it. I'll just put 3 on it here this next time.
All it needs now is a glove of glue in the eye.
No glue. I'm a non-glue kind of guy. And because it's a humpy, it will float. I think